Hello, DelusionDispeller, to talk to you more about what I was saying earlier regarding Anita and the fact that she could have just told me, let's work this out, you're right, I shouldn't have treated you so mean, I think we can work on this, and I can learn new ways to relate to you. But no, she didn't, because she wanted my rhubarb pie. And if you don't know what that means, go back to the video right before this one, the second one. Okay, carrying on. My former best friend eventually came back into my life, the one that was borderline. She told me how Anita would sit online and wait for me to come online onto Yahoo. One day, I did finally move on. I didn't need Anita anymore. And I wasn't there to try to get her attention and beg her to work things out with me one more time. According to my former best friend who was witnessing this, Anita went onto Yahoo looking for me. And because I was not on there to beg for her attention and beg her to work things out and try to talk to her to just have that attention a little bit more, Anita couldn't understand that. She became very frantic that I was not there like I always was. And she became very confused and upset, realizing that her former supply source was no more and had moved on. In fact, I had moved on to somebody new, my spiritual mom, who had been there for me through a really rough time when Anita ditched me and broke my heart and messed me up sanity-wise and almost stole my entire identity. Not that she took on my identity, but in a way she kind of did. She just basically destroyed me emotionally, we'll just say. So I had moved on, and yet my best friend who was with Anita said that Anita was still pining after me. Kind of stalking me in a sense, I guess you could say, but not in a malicious sense. Okay, the next part of this, even though I was going to do this on separate videos, it didn't work out that way. So I'm calling this Narcissist Will Stomp on Your Heart. The narcissist might shun you and act like you never existed. They may have promised to you that you'll be in a relationship again, but the timing wasn't right. Anita, for instance, used to keep telling me that we'd have our friendship back, but it never happened. As much as I wanted to hold on to that hope for a long, long time, I wouldn't hear from her until I chased after her to get a bone thrown to me for a moment, only to realize that it was her placating the poor girl who couldn't get over her. It was just another form of narcissistic supply for her. A narcissist might rub your nose in the fact that they have a new person in their life. If you have introduced them to this person, this new person, they will be sure to make sure that they tell you, you were so right. This person is so much better for me than you ever were. Aren't you glad we found that out before we got too far into the friendship? As if this is not supposed to break your heart, rip it out through your nose and stomp on it and just totally jab you like you've never been jabbed before. You're sitting here hearing this cold, callous, tactless person say, aren't you glad that I hooked up with your best friend instead of you? It never would have worked out with you and I. How cruel is that? Absolutely cruel. Anita did this to me. And Anita, if you're watching, and I do hope you are, at some point, I hope you watch these videos. And I hope that the conviction of God falls upon you and that you realize how much damage you could have done if I wasn't more stable than I was at the time. Anyways, Anita told me how my former best friend was so perfectly suited to work with her in ministry. How they had plans to meet in person and minister together. As if this would not emotionally just destroy me at the time. All I wanted was to be Anita's ministry partner. I was pruned and groomed and honed to be in her ministry and be by her side as her right-hand man. And now she's telling me that I've been replaced by my former best friend, and I'm just supposed to be okay with that, apparently. So at one point, she and my best friend took me into an online room to compare notes about me, about when I had visited each of their homes. I went willingly and allowed them to critique me because I thought, well, maybe they're right. You know, two of these women say that I'm so messed up, whatever. Let's hear what they have to say. I did agree to go into the room with them. I did agree to let them compare notes. I did not agree to allow them to tell me I had so many things wrong with me that they could not fix, nor did they know anyone else to refer me to who could help me. I told them I felt like they had opened me up for surgery and then just left me there to bleed to death. And that's really how it felt. So stay tuned. I will be back with 1 or 2 more videos. Thanks for watching.